It has come to my attention that I have amassed quite a few Turkish recipes on my channel. One might even say too many. I'm not one to pick favorites, so today I'm turning my attention to our southern neighbors. Welcome to I Can't Cook Chicken Souvlaki Bowl. Why not just chicken souvlaki, you might ask? And the answer is no. Today we're doing things a bit differently, because there are quite a few components to this recipe. We have hummus, fries, tzatziki, chicken, and finally plating the whole thing. So instead of my usual going back and forth shtick, we'll divide the video into separate parts. I'll include chapters in the video so you can freely skip ahead if you decide to buy store-bought instead of making it all from scratch. No judgment here. Okay, maybe just a little. Anyway, enough yapping, let's get started, shall we? To start, I'm gonna drain my cooked chickpeas, or at least attempt to. It seems they really don't want to leave their jar, huh? Never fear, the spoon is here. I scrape them all out and run them under cold water for a bit. Next, they get chucked into a pot and covered with water. I put it on the stove, add my baking soda and let them cook for 20 minutes once it boils. In the meantime, I'm gonna cut and juice one lemon and peel a garlic clove. I'll toss both into a measuring cup and blend them using my immersion blender. Now, it's important to leave this concoction to rest for about 10 minutes. This lets the garlic flavor mellow out so it doesn't overpower everything later. When it's time to take the chickpeas off the heat, I drain them, run them under cold water once again, and set them aside. Now I get a bowl of cold water and add some ice cubes. You might be wondering, why ice water and not room temperature? Simply put, tahini contains a lot of sesame oil. When the mixture gets warm during blending, the oil thins out and the emulsion can feel loose or slightly greasy. Using ice-cold water keeps the mixture cool, which helps the tahini stay thicker and creamier while it emulsifies. The tahini goes in and I start blending, but it's a bit on the thick side. This is where the water comes in. A few tablespoons and I give it another go. The real problem, the tahini is getting stuck on top of the blender, and because the cup is too small, it has nowhere to go. I scrape whatever I can off, add a bit more water and try again, but honestly, it's hopeless. So I grab a bigger measuring jug, everything gets transferred and it actually seems to be working. Time for the chickpeas to go in, along with the salt and cumin. Another blending attempt, more water, and it finally looks like we're getting somewhere. I add the olive oil while blending, a bit more water, and it's done. It looks exactly like it's supposed to, light, airy and creamy. Thankfully, all that effort paid off. I transfer it over to a food container and smooth it out. Honestly, it kinda looks like caramel ice cream. I almost wanna eat it by the spoonful. If you've watched my other videos, you know I like adjusting recipes to be on the healthier side. That's exactly what we're doing with these fries. We're baking instead of frying. But if you follow this technique, you really won't be able to tell the difference. Let's go! To begin, I'll peel, cut and wash my potatoes. I like them on the thicker side, but you can make them thinner if you'd like. Just keep in mind you might have to adjust the cooking time. Next, boil some water. Once it's bubbling, add a generous splash of vinegar followed by the potatoes. We boil for 8 minutes, drain them and let the steam escape for a few minutes so they aren't completely scalding to the touch. Once I'm sure I won't burn my hands, I transfer them to a bowl, drizzle about 2 tablespoons of oil over them, and mix by hand to ensure they're well coated. Then they go onto a baking sheet. Make sure to leave ample space for each potato. If you crowd them, their water won't be able to escape and they won't crisp up. They go into a preheated oven at 210 degrees for 30 minutes. Just look at them. Not only do they look incredible, they also come with the added benefit of not being drenched in oil. When I'm done admiring them, I transfer them to a bowl, salt them and toss to cold. Now listen to this. Perfect. Once my cucumber is washed and the ends are chopped off, I'm going to partially peel it, leaving a striped pattern. Then I put my box grater on top of a tea towel and get to work. When I'm done grating, I bunch up the towel and squeeze out as much water as humanly possible. We don't want soggy tzatziki now, do we? I unwrap it, toss it in the box and forget about it. Next up, garlic. Smash, peel, cut off the ends and run it through a garlic press. Add some salt, vinegar, and way too much white pepper. Whoops. That stuff's expensive, you know. Oh well. Olive oil follows, and last but not least, the yogurt. Everything gets a good old mixing, and I let it rest in the fridge until it's time to assemble. I cut the chicken first into strips and then into cubes. Make sure you cut them big enough so that they can easily slide onto the skewers. Some of the pieces I cut were a bit too small, which was an issue later, but nothing too sensational. Once all the chicken is neatly cut and resting in a container, it's time for the marinade. I'm gonna pick about 2 tablespoons worth of fresh oregano off the stem. Kinda just eyeballing it, not gonna lie, but this looks like enough. I give that a quick rinse and mince it as fine as I can. This is probably a good time to mention that using dried oregano is the easier and more sensible option. But I'm committed now, so let's carry on. I dump that on top of the chicken and proceed to zest an entire lemon right over the box. We're not wasting the rest of the lemon though. I juice it and pour it inside, along with some seeds. Oops. Now, a shallot. I don't think I've ever bought a shallot until today, so I wasn't exactly sure how to chop it. But I went with my gut and treated it like a regular onion. Cut off the ends, cut in half, peel, make a few long cuts, and dice. Then oppa, into the bowl it goes. Next up, you guessed it, garlic. Because this recipe clearly doesn't have enough already. Honestly, kissing someone after eating this might be considered a violation of the Geneva Convention.
Why are we still here?
Smash, peel, cut, garlic press, the usual. To finish it all off, olive oil, smoked paprika, chili flakes, and salt. Now all we need to do is mix. I grab my spoon and toss that spoon aside and go in with your hands. Smooth it out and oppa, into the fridge it goes to rest overnight. You can rest it for like 15 minutes if you're in a rush, but I personally wouldn't. You want to give time for all those flavors to infuse and for the acid from the lemon to tenderize the chicken. When it's time for the chicken to come out of the fridge, I get my skewers ready and get to work. I barely managed to fit all of it on my baking sheet. I have absolutely no idea how I'm gonna eat all of this alone. Time to send it into the oven for 10 minutes at 210 degrees. Then a quick flip and another 5 to 10 minutes. Keep an eye on it so it doesn't dry out. I kinda lost track of time, so mine was borderline. Still looks pretty good though. Alright, let's wrap this up. Wash and halve a few cherry tomatoes, then roughly chop up some iceberg lettuce. Grab yourself a bowl and lay down your pita bread, naan, or something similar. I only had Armenian lavash readily available, so that's what I'm using. Iceberg and tomatoes go on top, followed by the fries, the hummus, which refuses to leave the spoon, a generous amount of tzatziki, some feta, and finally, the skewers. There you have it, an incredibly tasty dinner made entirely from scratch. The only thing I didn't do was bake the bread and grow the vegetables myself, but hey, who knows, maybe next time.
Right. Let's see the chicken. It's so nice and lemony. It's honestly great. Pair that up with the fries. And some lettuce and tomatoes and there's just so much. It's impossible to get a taste of everything at once because there's just so much on this plate, because you have the pita, you have chicken, you have potatoes, you have hummus, you have tzatziki, you have lettuce, you have tomatoes, and you have feta. So it's literally impossible to get a taste of everything at once, but it's still so incredibly good. It was a lot of effort, but if you're not making the tzatziki and the hummus yourself and the potatoes, you could just buy frozen potatoes. So at the end of the day, you could just make the chicken. In which case, it's very easy. If you're making everything else, not so easy, but still, so worth it. That's it. make sure you make it. Bye.